I wanted to let the White House weigh in on a controversy here from earlier in the week. We told you that senior figures within the NAACP said that there was or talked about the travel advisory they had put into place for Florida, that Florida, the state of, is an unsafe, unwelcoming, dangerous place, a terrorist state, I think, is what somebody said about it this week on the left, for minorities and for members of the LGBTQIA plus community. Well, Karine Jean-Pierre was asked about this. Let's let everyone hear what this White House says about a state that they know they're going to lose in 2024, so they have no problem just trashing Florida all the time, it seems. Play 3.
We've been outspoken about the impact of misguided policies advanced by Florida lawmakers. Republicans in Florida have attacked diversity. They've attacked inclusion efforts. They've limited the teaching of Black history. And they've launched attacks on the LGBT youth, immigrants, educators, and women's reproductive freedom. That's what you have seen from lawmakers in Florida. So I'll let NAACP, I'll let LULAC speak to their specifics of their travel advisories. But this administration is going to, as we have for the past 2 years, continue to speak out against discriminatory policies pushed by state leaders across the country.
Clay, there's a tactic in propaganda, fire hose of falsehood, they will call it, where you just spray so many lies, so many misdirections that you figure you can overwhelm people's ability to discern the truth from the BS. And what you're hearing there is fire hose of falsehood. It's crazy the amount of just all the phrases too. Limiting the teaching of Black history. What? How?
It's all lies. It's all lies. I mean, everything that she said in that answer is a lie. Everything. And I think this is so important. It's one thing to disagree on what the tax code should be, right? We can agree hey, I think that the corporate tax rate should be 24%. Well, I think it should be 14%. I think we should have this tax on dividends. I think the capital gains rate needs to be all those things. I would acknowledge we can have a legitimate debate on, right? You and your neighbor might have a different opinion on how capital gains should be treated. That's a rational conversation, as long as your neighbor's not arguing for 80% capital gains rates or which some lunatics would. Buck, everything that she said is an unmitigated lie. All of it. And everything that the NAACP said, it's a lie, right? Black people are not in danger in Florida. Gay people are not in danger in Florida. Buck, you know where I went for Christmas break? Key West. I can guarantee you, if you have ever been to Key West, Florida, it might be the gay capital of America. People in Key West, Ron DeSantis is the governor of Florida. All the gay, lesbian universe, Buck, do you think in Key West, they're like, we better get on a boat and go to Cuba right now. We're in danger of being exterminated in Florida because of our gayness. Of course not. Where you live now in Miami, monstrous gay population. One of the biggest gay populations per capita in the entire country. You're in Miami. Do you think gay people feel threatened right now to walk around the streets? This is such a lie. It's all a lie. The book bans isn't true. The idea that anybody is in danger. In fact, crime is way down in Florida. You're actually safer in Florida now than most parts of America, certainly in big cities. And if you're lying like this, why? Why are these lies necessary? Because they're terrified, I think, of DeSantis because he won by 20 points in Florida. Scoreboard. This is a scoreboard kind of election, right? And that's why they have to lie to attack him.
Yeah, just for all of the frustration that a lot of Republicans felt and we were front of the line in 2022 with what the polls seemed to indicate and what the reality ended up being. The only place we saw a dramatic overperformance relative to favorable polls for a Republican was in Florida, where we were talking about maybe a 6 or a 7 point win was a 20-point win. a 20-point win in Florida? Look, people can say whatever they want about, who they like or who they support, everything else. That's all fine. But the numbers don't lie. That was a massive victory that I think the Democrats recognize that there's a template here as well for how Republicans can do elections and how they can dial it in different states. If you had Florida level elections in Nevada, I mean trustworthiness, systems in place, understanding the rules, and leveraging them for the GOP side, Pennsylvania, Georgia, these states start to look a lot better for the GOP.
Couple of facts on that Florida situation. Karine Jean-Pierre said women are in danger. Ron DeSantis won single women in Florida. I mean, I just want all of you out there to think about that, because we heard so much about women moving against the Republican Party. Ron DeSantis won a majority of single women in the state of Florida. Second part here. DeSantis won Florida, percentage-wise, by more than Gavin Newsom won California. That stat blows people's minds. Go look at the returns. The Republican candidate for governor in California got more support against Gavin Newsom than the Democrat candidate for governor did against Ron DeSantis. We know California is a far left state. Yet in California, Gavin Newsom was not able to win in that state by as much as DeSantis won in Florida. If what Karine Jean-Pierre and everybody else is saying were true, the ultimate end of the argument case to me, Buck, is why have millions of people moved to Florida since Ron DeSantis became governor? If you were actually in danger, would you move to Florida? No. It's because that's a lie. And it's a really bad lie. And that's what I hate to see Trump echoing what Hillary Clinton and Karine Jean-Pierre and Joe Biden are saying. I think it's a really ineffective attack against DeSantis. And frankly, it seems desperate to me.
I also think it's just to take this out of the realm of, because I think for some folks, they hear a lot of, look, the governor of Florida is about to announce today. And so there's going to be focus on this. And Florida has, as a state, especially in the COVID era and afterwards, become a place where, look, think of most of as we all know, Rush lived in Florida for decades. And now you have Florida, you have more conservative media commentators, radio hosts, et cetera, in Florida than really any other state. And there's been a real movement toward it. But what I think is interesting for the Democrats is what's the blue state that's getting all of the people that want to go there right now? There's a lot of blue states out there, and that as geographic locations and cultural centers and historically are amazing. What are the blue states? What we see is, in fact, even in a place like New York City, they're saying, please stop sending so many migrants here. We can't handle all the migrants. Okay, well, what's the blue state that is so welcoming that's bringing in so many people right now who want to move internally from other places in the United States? They don't have an exemplar. They don't have hey, this is blue state governance working so well. We have to turn people away practically because we don't have enough housing for them because everyone wants to live here. No, in the blue states, we're running out of free housing to give people because we can't afford more free housing because the tax base is leaving. It's not a good look. It's not a good look.